First of all, we have to study about need for classification. So why we are classifying the elements? Can you say anybody? Why elements are classified, ma? Because there are huge number of elements, no? Because there are huge number of elements, and we want to remember most of the elements with minimum effort. Clear, ma? We want to remember the elements with minimum effort. That is the need for classification. For example, if you take in 1800 year, in the year 1800, only 30 elements were known. How many elements were known? Only 30 elements were known in the year 1800. Clear, nama? So basic elements like carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, these are the basic elements, no? These elements, they are called as ancient elements. Ancient elements ante Yesu Kristu kalam varaku andariki telusu anamata. All people know these elements. Clear, no? So, but by the year 1865, so we came to know about 63 elements. Clear, nama? So almost the number of elements have doubled. Clear, no? And this was the time when Lothar Meyer and Mendeleev, when they were present. Clear, nama? So at this time in this 19th century, we had idea about 63 elements. Are you able to understand? Then now, at present, now in 2021, now how many elements we know? We know nearly 118 elements. Clear, nama? And 118th element, atomic number 118, so it is called as organism. It was discovered recently. It was not discovered, no, it was man-made. It was made in laboratory. Are you able to understand? So because there are many number of elements, definitely there is a need for classification. Are you able to understand? So I want to remember all these elements. I want to remember their properties, their physical properties and chemical properties with minimum effort. So that is the need for classification. Are you able to understand? So many people have tried to classify the elements. So before that, first of all, we have to study about Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. Now can you say what is meant by Dalton's atomic theorem? What did he say? He said that atom is the smallest, clear, ma? Or you can say indivisible particle in matter. So this was what was said by Dalton, no? Okay, ma? So people were wondering, matter is made up of what? Clear? So Dalton said that matter is made up of atoms, and this is the smallest particle which you cannot divide into further smallest particle. But it is not correct, because atom again we can divide into nucleus, protons, electrons, mesons, fisons. We can divide into further many particles. So this was the theory which was said by Dalton. Clear, no? Then he said that, so atoms of same element are similar. Okay, ma? For example, if you take a piece of iron, iron is an element, no? So throughout the iron, every atom will be same. So that was the second postulate of Dalton. But if you take different elements, then atoms will be different. For example, copper atom will be different when compared to iron atom. Are you able to understand? So this was the second postulate. And the third postulate which he said is, atoms can neither be created nor destroyed. Clear, nama? Just like law of conservation of energy. Energy you can never create or you can never waste also. Clear, ma? Just like he said that atoms can neither be created nor destroyed. So this was the first person who explained about the basic components of matter. Are you able to understand? Then in the need for classification, the first person who has done classification was Dobereiner. Completed, nama, this one? Which we call it as Dobereiner's law of triads. Okay. So the first person who tried to classify elements was Dobereiner. Okay, ma? And this is called as Dobereiner's law of triads. Okay. So what is meant by triads, ma? Triads means what? 3 elements. 3 elements is nothing but triad. So he grouped 3 elements which almost has similar properties. Are you able to understand, ma? He grouped 3 elements which had similar properties. And when he observed that if you take the middle element of this triad, if you take which element? Middle element. So the atomic mass of this middle element, it was the average of the atomic masses of the extreme elements. So this is called as Dobereiner's law of triads. So let us try to take some examples. For example, if you take lithium, if you take sodium, and if you take potassium. Clear, na? Similarly, if you take calcium, strontium, barium, this is a triad. Similarly, chlorine, bromine, iodine, this is also a triad. Clear, na? So this was the basic classification which was done by Dobereiner. Are you able to understand, no? So he has taken a group of 3 elements here. So lithium, sodium, potassium, he took as one group. Clear, no? Calcium, strontium, barium, he took as another group. Chlorine, bromine, iodine, he took as another triad. Okay, ma? And the beauty is that if you observe these elements in the periodic table, ఇవి మీరు పీరియాడిక్ టేబుల్లో అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే దే విల్ బీ ప్రజెంట్ అండర్ ద సేమ్ గ్రూప్. ఇవన్నీ ఒకే గ్రూప్లో ఉంటాయి. క్లియర్ మా? సో లిథియం, సోడియం, పొటాషియం, దే బిలాంగ్ టు ఆల్కలీ మెటల్స్. ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ మా? దే ఆర్ ప్రజెంట్ అండర్ వన్ గ్రూప్. Similarly, calcium, strontium and barium, they belong to one group. Clear, ma? Chlorine, bromine, iodine also, they belong to one group. And what is the importance of a group? So we are saying that these triads, they belong to one group, no, ma? So can you say what is the importance of a group? Group importance, I mean, the importance of group is that all the elements in a particular group, they will have almost the same characteristics. Clear, ma? All the elements present in a particular group. Totally how many groups are there? 18 groups are there in the periodic table. How many groups are there, ma? 18 groups are there. So all the elements in a particular group, they have similar characteristics. Clear, no, ma? So this was identified by Dobereiner by just taking some of the triads. Clear? For example, if you take the atomic mass of lithium, it is 7. Na pen idra? Where is my pen? Clear, ma? So, atomic mass of lithium, 7. What is meant by atomic mass? Mass of an atom. Mass of an atom is called as atomic mass. So, atomic mass of lithium is 7. The atomic number, 3 is the atomic number. So, atomic mass of sodium, 23. Its atomic number is 11. Potassium, 39. And what is its atomic number, ma? 19. That's all, no? So if you take about this sodium, whose atomic mass is 23, then he observed this 23 is the average of 39 and 7. It's average only, no? For example, if you take the average of atomic mass of the extreme elements, which are the extreme elements here? Potassium and lithium, these are the extreme elements. So if you write 39 plus 7 divided by how many elements? We are taking 2 elements only, no? So therefore it is 46 divided by 2, which is nothing but 23. Clear, ma? So this was the first observation which was done by Dobereiner. Similarly, if you take the average of atomic mass of calcium and barium, then it is equal to strontium. Clear, no? Similarly, if you take the average of atomic mass of chlorine and iodine, it is equal to bromine. Are you able to understand, no? So this was the first attempt. Clear? So the second attempt was done by Newlands. Who was the second person to do the trial of classification, ma? Second person was Newlands. Clear? So this is also called as Newlands law of octaves. Okay, ma? This law is also called as Newlands law of octaves. What is meant by octaves? Octaves means, huh? Sarigama padane salra, sari, they are called as octaves. Are you able to understand? So what does the law of octaves says that? It says that if elements are arranged in the increasing order of atomic mass, clear na? Then every eighth element will have similar properties. Okay ma? Every eighth element will have similar properties. This is called as Newland's law of octaves. Clear? So how we have to arrange these elements ma? We have to arrange these elements in the order of increasing atomic mass, not number. Are you able to understand? So therefore let us see how he has organized according to the data which he had in that time. So at the time of Newlands also, all the elements, they were not discovered. Only some of the elements were discovered. And according to that only he framed this law. Are you able to understand? So let us see what are the elements which were discovered at his time. So first one was hydrogen. Helium was not there. Clear ma? Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Neon was not there. Sodium, magnesium, aluminium, clear ma? Silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon was not there, potassium, calcium. Okay ma? So he has taken these elements into consideration. Are you able to understand? And what are the elements which are missing here? Miss outuna elements evi cheppandi? Helium is not there, neon is not there, argon is not there. Are you able to understand ma? So with these available elements only he framed this law, which is called as law of octaves. Clear? Now write down. Sarigama Padhanishal rayandi ippudu. Sarigama Padhanisa. Clear ma? So what is the meaning of this one? Here you are getting one sa, here also you are getting one sa, no ma? It means that hydrogen and fluorine, they should have almost similar properties. That is the meaning of this one. Clear ma? Then what about the missed elements? Missed elements paristhithi that he could not explain. Okay ma? What about the elements which are missing that he could not explain? Okay. So that is why many people laughed at this. Navina Narmata. Okay. But his work was recognized after many years and he got a very big medal also for his invention. Clear ma? Which medal is called Davis medal. It was the biggest medal in chemistry at that time. Are you able to understand? So then you again repeat the sequence. Again, sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. Clear ma? Now if you write like this, very easily you can identify which elements have similar properties, no ma? How can you identify? Wherever you see sa. Okay? So hydrogen, fluorine and chlorine. Clear na ma? They must have similar properties. Are you able to understand? And definitely they will have similar properties, no ma? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, they belong to halogens. Clear? And all the halogens, they are present under one group. And all the elements which are present under one group, definitely they should have similar properties. Are you able to understand? Clear na ma? Similarly, if you take Re, wherever you find Re, lithium, sodium, another Re, Sari, potassium. Clear na ma? They should have similar characteristics. Clear no? Similarly, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, they should have similar properties. Are you able to understand? This law is called as law of octaves. It means every eighth element will have similar property, almost similar property. You cannot say exactly similar properties, almost they will have similar properties. That is called as law of octaves. Are you able to understand ma? But there are some drawbacks about this model. What are the drawbacks? There are some gaps, no? There are some elements which were not discovered. So he did not say anything about that. Are you able to understand? But definitely this law is correct only, because definitely if you see these elements, hydrogen, sodium, hydrogen, fluorine, chlorine, they belong to halogens. They have definitely similar properties. Clear na ma? Lithium, sodium, potassium, they also belong to one group. They are alkali metals, no ma? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, they are alkali metals. Definitely they have same properties. Clear? That's it. Make a note up to here. Completed ma? Raskunara? Okay. So this was the previous attempts of classifying elements, clear? But the most important point is the credit of modern periodic table. Modern periodic table means what? The periodic table which we are using now. Now the periodic table which we are using, that is called as modern periodic table, or you can call it as a long form of periodic table also. Clear, ma? So the credit of modern periodic table goes to Lothar Meyer. Lothar Meyer, he belongs to Germany. Clear, ma? And Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay, ma? Dmitry Mendeleev, name only you can see, no, he belongs to Russia. Wherever you see the name Dmitry, it belongs to Russia only. Dmitry is a very famous name in Russia. Clear, no? So the credit of modern periodic table, it goes to these two people. Clear? The first person is Lothar Meyer of Germany and Dmitry Mendeleev of Russia. Clear? So let us see some of the work of Lothar Meyer. Okay, ma? So Lothar Meyer believed that, what he believed? He believed, clear, ma? Periodic properties of elements are functions of atomic masses. Clear, ma? So this was the belief of Lothar Meyer. Belief ante artham emi? ఆయన నమ్మిన సిద్ధాంతం అది అన్నమాట. క్లియర్ మా? He believed that all the periodic properties, they depend on what, ma? They depend on atomic masses. But now we are framing the periodic table based on what? Atomic number. But previously these people, they believed that everything depends on atomic masses. Clear, na, ma? So Lothar Meyer has drawn one curve also, ma? Why he came to this conclusion means, let us see what was the work done by Lothar Meyer. Okay, see, ma, we know that density is equals to mass by volume, no? Density is equals to mass by volume. We know this relation. Clear? By using this relation, he has taken all the elements which are available at those time. At those time, nearly how many elements were available? 63 elements were available, no, ma? So he has drawn a graph between atomic mass and atomic volume. Clear, no, ma? So what was the graph he has drawn? So this was the shape of the graph. So along x-axis he has taken atomic volume in centimeter cube. Clear, ma? And on the x-axis he has taken atomic mass. Atomic mass in AMU, atomic mass units. Clear, ma? Now let us see what was the graph he has drawn, ma? See, ma, this was the graph which was obtained by Lothar Meyer when he has drawn a graph between atomic volume and atomic mass. Clear, na, ma? So if I observe this graph, one thing which I can say is, at the extreme points of this graph, at the topmost point, or you can say at the peaks of this graph, what are the elements which are present? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. They belong to alkali metals, no? Clear, no, ma? So therefore what is the first point which I have to write? The first point which I have to write is, so at the top of peaks, what are the elements which are present? Alkali metals were present. And what are alkali metals, ma? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, all these called as alkali metals. Are you able to understand? Similarly, now if you see at the descending part of the graph, what is meant by descending part of the graph? The graph where the point where graph is reducing. This is called descending part of the graph, no, ma? Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium. They belong to what? They belong to alkaline earth metals. They belong to alkaline earth metals. So that is one point which I got. So therefore, at the descending part of graph. At the descending part of the graph we will get, so alkaline earth metals. Clear ma? Then similarly you see at the base of the graph, aluminium, cobalt, copper, molybdenum, rhenium. So all of them, they belong to transition elements. What is meant by transition elements? D block elements, they are called as transition elements. What is the reason that we call them as transition elements ma? Because these transition elements, they are present between S block and P block. They are present in between S block and P. Previously you should have seen periodic table. No? First comes the S block, at the last you have the P block, and the middle you have the D block. F block is completely separated from the periodic table. So they are called transition metals because all the elements, they change from metals to non-metals, from higher radius to lower radius. All these properties, they change through these D block elements only. Are you able to understand? So that is why they are called as transition metals. It means they have middle characters in between S block and P block. So therefore, at the base of this graph, what we have? At the base of the graph we have transition elements. Okay ma? Clear? And at the ascending part of the graph, what is meant by ascending part of the graph? Where graph is increasing. So chlorine, bromine, iodine, all of them, they belong to what? They belong to halogens. Are you able to understand? So therefore, on the ascending part of the graph, we have the halogens. Are you able to understand now? So this was the results which were obtained when we have drawn a graph between atomic volume and atomic mass. Okay ma? Now the question is, by observing this graph, what do you understand? ఈ గ్రాఫ్ను చూసి లోథర్ మేయర్కి ఏం అర్థమైంది? ఇంతకు ఎందుకు డ్రా చేసినాడు ఈయన ఈ గ్రాఫ్ డ్రా చేసింది పని లేకనే. గ్రాఫ్ he has done because he had no work. Clear nama? But after drawing the graph, he concluded something. Clear? What he has concluded? Okay ma? He concluded this statement. What is this statement? Periodic properties are functions of atomic masses. Clear ma? It means definitely there is certain relation between masses of the elements and their properties. So definitely there is some similarity, no ma? You see all the similar elements, they are present at one position. That's what we observe, no? So definitely there is some relation between atomic masses and properties of the elements. So that was the information which was obtained by Lothar Meyer when he has drawn this graph. అర్థమవుతుంది కదా? ఈ గ్రాఫ్ డ్రా చేయటం వల్ల ఆయనకి ఏమర్థమైంది? అటామిక్ మాసెస్కి, ఎలిమెంట్స్ యొక్క ప్రాపర్టీస్కి ఖచ్చితంగా ఒక రిలేషన్ ఉందని ఆయనకు అర్థమైంది. అండ్ డెఫినెట్లీ హీ హ్యాస్ ప్రూవ్డ్ దట్. ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్? సో దేర్ ఫోర్ లోథర్ మేయర్ ఆల్సో ట్రైడ్ టు డివైజ్ ఎ గ్రాఫ్. He tried to devise a classification, and that classification was based on what? That classification was based on this thing. So periodic properties depends on atomic masses of the elements. So దీన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని ఆయన ఒక టేబుల్ను తయారు చేస్తున్నాడు. Are you able to understand now? That's it. So then we study about the next person who tried extensively to classify the elements. He was Dmitri Mendeleev. So next person గురించి ఎవరి గురించి చదవాలి మనము? Dmitri Mendeleev. So right. Okay ma? So Dmitri Mendeleev. So what was the work of Dmitri Mendeleev? Let us clear. So he also believed periodic properties are functions of what? Atomic masses. So his belief was also same. Clear now? But he has done one very interesting thing. What differentiates between Lothar Meyer and Mendeleev is the second point which I am writing. So wherever there is a conflict, clear ma? He deviated from his own principle, clear ma, and gave importance to physical and chemical properties rather than just atomic mass. Clear ma? Now can you say what is the meaning of this statement ma? What is the meaning of the statement we have written? Okay. So this person also, he also believed in the same concept that periodic properties depends on atomic masses only. ఆయన కూడా అదే బిలీవ్ చేస్తున్నాడు. Are you able to understand? But wherever there is a conflict means, for example, if you take two elements, their atomic masses are same. Are you able to understand ma? So in such type of condition, he deviated from his own principle and he gave more importance to properties of elements, that is the physical properties as well as chemical properties of elements, and according to that he framed his periodic table. Are you able to understand? Ante at some places he got anomalous pairs. What is meant by anomalous pairs? Definitely we place elements according to their increasing atomic masses, no? Atomic masses increase అయ్యే విధంగానే కదా వీళ్ళు క్లాసిఫై చేసింది. బట్ అట్ సమ్ పొజిషన్స్, సో ద ఎలిమెంట్ విచ్ వాస్ హ్యావింగ్ గ్రేటర్ అటామిక్ మాస్, it was present before the element which was having lesser atomic mass. Okay, so such type of pairs you can call them as anomalous pairs. Are you able to understand? So generally how he has classified, first of all you should take an element which is having less atomic mass, then more atomic mass, then some more atomic mass. This is the method of classification, no? But at some places like argon and potassium, clear ma? Cobalt and nickel. So in this type of conditions, he placed elements which are having greater atomic mass before the elements which are having less atomic mass. Okay, and this kind of pairs you can call them as anomalous pairs. So that was the work which was done by Dmitry Mendeleev. Are you able to understand? Clear ma? So therefore, let us see what are the problems he got while doing this classification. Okay ma? Which is also called as defects of Mendeleev's table. So first of all he got anomalous pairs. What is meant by anomalous pairs? Clear ma? Anomalous pairs means, for example, if you take argon and potassium. Okay, so the atomic mass of argon was 40, but the atomic mass of potassium was only 39. So actually potassium should be present before argon, no? First of all, which element should come? First of all you should get potassium, then you should get argon. But in his periodic table, first of all he placed argon, then he placed potassium. So this is an anomalous pair. Are you able to understand? వాస్తవంగా అయితే ఫస్ట్ ఏది రావాలి? పొటాషియం రావాలి, ఆ తర్వాత ఆర్గాన్ రావాలి. Are you able to understand? కానీ ఆయన ఎలా ప్లేస్ చేస్తున్నాడు? He placed argon, then he placed potassium. This is an anomalous pair. So why he has placed like this? Because wherever there is a conflict, ఆయనకి ఎక్కడ డౌట్ వస్తే అక్కడ he gave more importance to physical and chemical properties rather than just believing on atomic masses. Are you able to understand? Clear number? And one more such anomalous pair is cobalt and nickel. Okay ma? So atomic mass of cobalt was 59, atomic mass of nickel is 58.6. So first of all, which element should come? First of all nickel should come, followed by cobalt. But he placed cobalt first of all, then he placed nickel. Again he gave importance to physical and chemical properties rather than just believing on the sequence of atomic masses. Are you able to understand? So this was the first defect which was obtained by in the case of this table. Clear no? Mendeleev table. But actually this is not a defect. This is correct one. What he has done is correct. But to those people it appeared as if it is a defect. ఆయనకు అది defect లా అనిపించింది అన్నమాట వేరే వాళ్ళకు. Clear? And the second defect in Mendeleev's table was position of isotopes. Position of isotopes. Okay ma? What is meant by isotope? Isotope means elements which are having same atomic number but their mass numbers are different. This is called as what you call isotopes. No? Example of isotopes is carbon 612, carbon 613, carbon 614, hydrogen 11, deuterium 12, tritium 13. These are some of the examples. No? Clear number? So all of them, they belong to carbon only. All of them belong to carbon only. All of them, they belong to hydrogen only. Clear? But what about their mass number? 12, 13, 14. Okay. And he devised the periodic table according to masses only. No? Mendeleev devised the periodic table according to what? Atomic numbers or atomic masses? Atomic masses. No? It means the same element have 3 masses. No? Same element have 3 masses. So where I should place this carbon? I should place carbon at 3 times. 3 చోట్ల place చేయాలి దాన్ని carbon. Because same element has 3 masses. No? Similarly, if you take hydrogen, 1, 2, 3. It means you should give 3 places to hydrogen itself. Clear, Amma? So this was the second defect which was obtained in the case of Mendeleev's periodic table. Clear, Amma? And one more defect was the position of lanthanides and actinides. Okay, ma? So the position of lanthanides and actinides. Clear? So this was also actinides. Clear? So this was also confusing about where to place this lanthanides and actinides. So he had no idea how to place them. Are you able to understand, ma? So these are some of the defects which were obtained in the case of Mendeleev's periodic table. Clear? So the next person about whom we have to study is Moseley. Next ever gurinchi chaduvali manamu. We have to study about Moseley. So Moseley has done some experiments. Those experiments at present it is not required for us. So he has done some experiments and he suggested that instead of taking atomic masses as the criterion for classifying the elements, you better take atomic numbers. And he suggests చేసింది ఎవరు? Moseley. Are you able to understand, ma? So Dmitri Mendeleev and Lothar Meyer, Newlands and Dobereiner, all they were classifying the elements basing on atomic masses only, no? Okay. But he said that instead of taking atomic masses, you better take atomic numbers for classifying the elements. What is the reason? Reason ఏముంటుంది చెప్పండి? What is the reason? Reason is because all the chemical properties of elements, they depend on only number of protons only. Chemical properties దేనిపైన depend అవుతాయి? It depends on only number of protons only. Sima, what differentiates between nitrogen and oxygen? Nitrogen ki oxygen ki difference ఏమి? Just one proton is extra, that's it. అంతే కదా difference. In nitrogen you will have 7 protons, in oxygen you have 8 protons. So because 7 protons are there, 7 electrons are also present. Because basically any matter in this universe is neutral, no? Any matter in this universe is neutral. So if there are 7 protons, definitely there should be 7 electrons also. Similarly, if there are 8 protons in oxygen, definitely there should be 8 electrons also. And who takes part in bonding? Electrons. Who is deciding the number of electrons? Protons. Are you able to understand? So therefore, he said that it is better to take atomic numbers as the basic for classification of elements. Are you able to understand, ma? So based on his suggestion and based on the suggestion of many other people also, we have started taking atomic numbers as our basis of classification, and that forms the basis of the modern periodic table, or you can call it as the long form of periodic table. Are you able to understand? So now in long form of periodic table, what is the basic concept we are taking? We are taking the periodic properties, the physical properties, the chemical properties, they depend on, or they are the functions of atomic numbers. They are no longer functions of atomic masses. But it doesn't mean that periodic properties doesn't depend on masses. Periodic properties depends on masses also up to some extent. Masses పైన కూడా ప్రాపర్టీస్ డిపెండ్ అవుతాయి. అర్థమవుతుంది కదా? But it is more convenient if I take properties based on atomic numbers. So therefore we have started taking atomic number to be our basis of classification. And what is meant by atomic number, ma? Number of protons present inside the nucleus is called as atomic number. Are you able to understand? That's it. So therefore, Moseley suggested, right now, Moseley suggested to take atomic numbers as basis of classification. Are you able to understand? Therefore, modern periodic law is based on what? Modern periodic law says like this: the periodic properties are functions of what, ma? Atomic numbers. Clear? So this statement we can call it as the statement of modern periodic law or modern periodic table. Are you able to understand? So this is the history how we have obtained up to the right classification of elements which we are following today. అర్థమవుతుంది కదా? చరిత్ర అక్కడి నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయితే ఇక్కడికి ఎండ్ అయిందనమాట. ఓకే, సో ఫర్దర్ హిస్టరీ వీ విల్ స్టడీ నౌ. కంప్లీటెడ్ నోమా?